Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy.
Hey guys, it's Emmy. I am popping in real quick to tell you a little bit about this episode before we get into it. First of all, this episode is a long time coming. It is an extra special one because my sister Caiti Riden is in the interview seat today. We have been begging her to come on the House of Joy for, months, a year, but she finally sat down in the House of Joy seat with my mom. I got to be on the other side of the camera for this one and just listen, and it was such an amazing conversation that it ended up being over an hour. So we're actually splitting it up into two parts. The second part is going to come out next week on the 25th. So when you get to the end of this and you feel like you need more and you have questions, that's because there's a whole nother part coming out, and we can't wait for you to listen to that one. But first, you have to listen to this part, and it's so good, and you're going to love it. And Caiti was just so gracious and vulnerable, and it was an amazing conversation, and I can't wait for you to hear it. So I will let you get into it, but remember to tune back in next week for the second part. You're going to love it. Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to House of Joy. You are in for a treat. We have been trying to get our dear Caiti Bug on this podcast for the last year and a half, and she finally said yes. I'm so glad you're here, sissy.
I'm happy to be here.
Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
But I'm excited.
You just look so stunning. It's almost your birthday.
I'm so excited. Tomorrow's my birthday.
I know. She's going to be 33.
33. I feel like that's going to be a great year.
It's going to be such a great year. You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are having such a fun mama sister day. After we record this, we probably go play a little pickleball. But we were just so happy that you said yes to coming and being on the pod so that everybody that we love, all of our House of Joy people, could meet you and love you like we do. And we were brainstorming. There's all different kinds of topics we could explore because you have so many fun interests. But the thing that we kind of came to was totally your idea, was talking about a really hard season that you went through with your mental health and how you have just steadily over time built such a healthier life for yourself, and the ways that physical health are kind of entwined there. And because you are a nurse practitioner in mental health, you have so many certifications. I'm like, this girl who...
How many more times am I going to go
How many more times are you going to go back to school?
That's the question.
But listen, you came by it honestly because I've told you this story before, but when you were born on a Thursday. When you were born, you were my only child that I had completely natural.
Sorry
about that. I stood out in the waiting room having contractions until I was way too far along, and then they couldn't do anything. So, but also I was in college at the time at UT, and I had a biochemistry test on Monday, and I toted you, I had you on Thursday. I toted you in a little baby sling and took a biochemistry test with you on my chest on Monday.
Crazy.
So you come by it honestly. You may never stop going to school.
For some reason, it just really imprinted.
It did.
As an infant newborn. The feeling of being in a classroom.
Did you know that story, Emily? Isn't that crazy?
You didn't know that?
Emmy's here. You won't see her today, but she's in the background producing
She's with us.
She's with us in spirit. We wish she had a mic. But yeah, you will probably always have a bent toward all that learning and all that science. But I'm so proud of you.
It served me well. Thank you.
It has served you well.
You're a huge inspiration. I think something to do with like just memories, and I guess the things that you grow up with that have a lasting impact. Yeah. I will never forget going into your medical offices and just seeing you work as a doctor. Aww. Obviously it was like in between patients and things like that, or maybe on lunch break, but that just imprinted into my mind of, I want to be in medicine. Like, I want to do something in medicine. I followed the track of nurse practitioner route, and I'm so thankful that I did. But yeah, it has served me so well, and it's helped me grow and expand. And I'm very thankful.
I remember when you were in nursing school and
you helped me learn how to actually study for the first time in my life.
Yeah, you came home and you were like, I realized that I basically, probably like most people, me too, got through high school, really didn't have to study to do well. And now I don't really know how to study. And you and I remember those times so fondly. You would come and we would be in the schoolroom all weekend. We would be reading through your stuff and making notes, and I would be quizzing you. We would have the whiteboards.
Pulled out the massive one that was like literally 15 feet long, like writing out all these terms.
It was so fun.
And it was off of me failing my first anatomy and physiology exam. That's what prompted it, because I was like, ooh, this
is going to be hard.
This is actually a lot of material to cover, and I made a 54 on that exam.
Oh, wow.
And it changed.
I didn't remember that part of the story.
It changed my neurochemistry for sure. I was like, I cannot fail. This is not who I am.
No.
And so Mom came in and saved the day and showed me how to study. So.
Yeah, we had so much fun. I relearned a lot. It was
a review
great.
Session.
All those review sessions. Yes. I'm currently trying to teach Tom how to study 7th grade, so don't ask me how that's going. But anyways, I'm like you. I'll probably forever be a student. I love to learn. I love to read new stuff. And
I think that's the best way to be. I really do.
Yep. And
I think when you think you know everything, that's when something has gone wrong in life.
Yeah, it's kind of a red flag.
Yes.
But we were thinking and talking about the period of time. I remember it well. I just remember times where you would call me. You lived in Johnson City, so you were an hour or so away then. But I do remember the period of time when you went through kind of your own mental health crisis. I wonder, I have never even asked you this. Is that what you think drew you to want to do mental health for
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have, I'm not sure exactly, but I know. So that period of time was when I started studying with you was it freshman year or sophomore year?
I think it was more like junior year because you were in specific nursing classes. It wasn't
right. That's right. So that would have been my junior year.
Yeah.
It was that fall. So we had started studying. It was late in that fall that I had
your
now
first
I know
panic attack or
yes.
Okay.
So I started having panic attacks that semester.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I didn't know what was happening exactly, but I mean, now that I treat it so often, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was like truly having panic attacks, which then led into me having a pretty severe depressive, what we call an episode.
An episode, yeah.
But I had several months where I was in, I mean, for lack of better terms, just a funk. Yeah. And I was starting to feel kind of hopeless that, am I ever going to feel like normal? Myself, like normal again?
Yeah.
And I sought some counseling at the time. I was trying to manage my stress as best as you can in nursing school.
When you're in nursing school, yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was very traumatizing in its own way. But I remember praying every single day, multiple times a day, like, Lord, please lift this haze from my mind. And that's what it felt like.
Felt like because I remember when I was going through that, I just felt heavy all the time.
Yeah, I felt heavy. I would consider it now like brain fog.
Yeah. To
an extent too. I think like maybe the stress of it led to that symptom specifically, but it was like a brain fog and then I felt there was like a spiritual heaviness.
Okay.
And I think I look back now because we're always looking for like meaning in life.
Yes.
What did that
period
of my life mean?
Yeah.
And I think the Lord used it to inspire me to pursue my purpose, which I do believe is mental health. I see it every day. So often
that comes from the things we struggle with most. I will say that for sure for me, because I feel like one of the things that I struggled with a lot is I have this weird set of giftings, and medicine it just wasn't quite me feeling like I could fully live as myself.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like what I help people do is I kind of sorted that out for myself, and I kind of help people figure out their purpose, their calling. And I'm sure for you, it's the same way. The thing you struggle with most, by the way, everybody, use that for hope. That the thing God gives us to struggle through is often the thing we use to help other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and it wasn't like I went through that phase and it got better. I mean, it did get better, and then it got worse, and then it got better, and then it got worse, and I probably did need a little more of like intensive treatment or therapy than I got, but it truly was trying to survive nursing school.
Yep.
Just day in and day out. You got some breaks, obviously, like winter break and then summer break, but you were just in that machine. And I
felt like it carried on. Like in my memory, it seemed like it was a couple of years.
Oh, it was.
Because when you started working at the ICU, you would have that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After you got your license.
I maybe almost intuitively learned how to ground myself, and I was able, after probably a year of struggling with the panic, like I wouldn't even say it definitely didn't always go to a panic attack, but it was this impending doom, restlessness, anxiousness that was just kind of always there.
Okay.
I was able to find ways to kind of pull it down. Yep. Myself, and I'm very thankful for that. We could talk about techniques, a little bit later of what does help, but what then settled in is once I got my anxiety better under control, and I do attribute so much of that to the Lord. I feel like having that spiritual support and just going to scripture over and over and over, like Psalm 40, it will always be in my mind. I have it in like my Instagram bio. Everybody does that, but I'm like, no, that scripture saved my life, actually. Oh, and there's a part of it that says, and I'll pull you up out of the miry clay and set your feet upon a rock and establish your steps. And it's like, that's where I go mentally when I'm like, even now I have my moments, but it's like, I attribute so much of that to just clinging to the Lord. And I am not a perfect Christian. That is not to say that at all. But I do believe he helped me move through a lot of that. But what led later on was I got that job on night shift. We were actually just talking about kind of work, and I had to go back into a night shift type role earlier this week. And that is so taxing on your body.
Yep.
And
the years that I did that when Emmy and Ellie were babies, I worked night shift in the ER on the weekends so that we didn't have to leave them with anybody. And man, that'll age you.
Yeah. I lost 5 years probably from my time at in the ICU. But I'm so thankful for that time period and the mentors I had in that unit. I was meant to be there. I needed to be there. I learned so much about nursing, so much about critical care. But
it's like forged in fire kind of environment. Yeah.
It is sink or swim.
Yeah.
And it took a lot out of me mentally, and I didn't really realize that until I was just fully in it.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation actually with my best friend a few months into that job, and she was like, "You seem like it's like heavy." Like, aww. She could tell I was struggling mentally, just more kind of on a daily basis. And I was like, I am. I don't really know how to, like, I can't put my finger quite on it, but yeah, I feel like I'm again in a sort of funk, and I don't really know how to get out of it. Yeah. And so I look back at that time period now, and I'm so proud of how I was able to move through, and I didn't give up, and I didn't, I had my ways to cope, but that I didn't let that totally take over my life.
Yeah.
Because I've always
been... Because you were always, like, even then, I remember you would have a lot... And I was like this, too. You would have a lot of starts, like, okay, I really want to have better habits. I want to get myself in a better place.
Yeah.
And then you do good for a while. I remember that. And what you can tell yourself in times like that is, I never follow through. Instead of... What I tell my clients and what I remember for myself is that 8th or 9th or 10th time, you just keep going. Yeah. It's going to take, you just can't tell yourself a story about yourself that, oh, well, I don't follow through or whatever. Because for me, before I felt like I finally got to the place where, okay, like now I feel like I know how to sustain a healthy lifestyle for my mental health, emotional health, physical health. it took me till I was 50.
Yeah. Yes. I think back then my mentality was, and that's kind of part of what we're talking about today, is just taking care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually?
Yeah. Over time in a way that's sustainable. Yeah.
Yes. And what I didn't have back then, because it was more like this survival mode of like, I just need to get to that next phase. I need to get to that job. I went back to school within about 3 years. And so I was just kind of looking to the next thing. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm not there yet. And I knew that intuitively, like, I have more to do here. I have more to pursue, and I've got to keep going no matter how I feel mentally, because I was learning along the way. I learned in every job I've ever had. I mean, I did aesthetics for a year and a half.
Yeah. That was kind of a fun foray.
That was so fun. But I think
aesthetics.
about that, and I'm like, I'm sure on the outside, if you like looked at my career, you'd be like, okay, interesting.
Interesting. She's got all these certifications.
Interesting.
And she's injecting people. Yeah.
But each phase served me really well because I learned how to talk to people. I learned in that job in aesthetics, I actually learned how to talk to people as a provider, more in a provider role versus as a nurse.
As a nurse, yeah.
And I gained a lot more autonomy. And then I worked in a wellness clinic too.
I think confidence too. Like, I remember coming to your office going, oh, Caiti is like, this is so cool.
And I was good at it.
You were so good at it.
I like think back to that now, and I'm like, I had several people that were like, please don't ever leave. Because I will say this, once you find a good injector, you don't want her to leave. Yes. And, I felt that. I already had felt that kind of blossoming in me of like, I want to take care of people. That's why I went into nursing, is like, I want to take care of people in some capacity. That's why you went into medicine. And it's like, but everybody has their place. Yes. And I felt like I'm just not quite there yet. Like, I'm not quite where I need to be.
Where I want to be.
But I look at every season of my life as it served a purpose for me. And I am thankful for each season that I've been in. And now I'm in this season, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, so much of what I went through mentally in my early 20s through my mid 20s has served me so well. Because when I say to a patient, like, I know what it feels like. Yeah. You feel like you're in a hole and you cannot crawl out, and I know what that feels like. I'm telling you, you're going to be okay. Yes. Like, you're going to figure this out.
Okay, that makes me want to cry my eyes out, because I feel like this is what you're so good at. You are so good at having like real compassion for people. Because we talk about this all the time. I'm like, I don't know how you do what you do. You have so much compassion, but you also give so much hope that, yes, this is where you are right now, and it's okay to be where you are, but there is a way out. This is going to get better. Like, that hope, I think people are craving that. I feel like we're living in a crisis of hope right now, where people just they're not hearing that from people. It's kind of like someone is, managing their meds or whatever, but they're not hearing that message of hope. And I feel like that's what you do so well. And even though I keep trying to, get you to come work with us and convince you not to do it, you have said, like, I don't feel like my work here is done yet, you know?
Well, and I completed the program. What was that? 2 years?
Probably.
I think it was 2 years ago.
You got
I got into the program. No, that was 3 years ago.
Okay.
But 2 years ago, I did your program because
you got certified.
It does align so much with what I believe. I mean, your program is incredible. And it just, again, it was a season of a few months of where it helped me hone in on, like, I have 30 minutes, 20 minutes with these people. I've got to cover their meds. I've got to cover their history. I've got a lot to do. Yeah. But I want to be a provider that sees them as a whole person.
Yes.
I don't want to be someone that sees a med. And just thinks straight biology, straight chemistry, and like doesn't pay attention to the fact that like there is a spiritual component to mental health. Yes. I don't care what you say. No. I've seen it over and over again. And I want to speak to the whole person. Yes. I think that's what we're called to do as Christians in this world, but especially Christians in medicine. Like, I have never shoved any kind of religion down anybody's throat. Right. I'm not there to do that. Right. But I am there to show them light and hope.
And
I think it people are starved of it because of our society.
Yeah.
And because we want to like isolate mental health as,
this whole separate thing. And it's
this
not.
Cold, like algorithm.
Yeah.
You need an SSRI because you have, you know, you've met criteria for
this
a depressive episode.
diagnosis. Yeah.
And usually I can tell now, thankfully, I've been in it long enough where I can get an idea of what's going on very quickly.
Yeah.
And I can look at their meds and it's in a way, it's intuitive. I think, you kind of get an understanding of like, okay, this is sort of how their chemistry is probably working based on this set of symptoms I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But then I go into, okay, do you have any trauma?
Yes.
And I usually preface it. I'm like, listen, I'm not a therapist, but I can offer therapeutic communication and I want to know who you are.
Yes.
Because that's going to help me understand what you need.
Yes.
If I can't give it to you, I'm going to find someone who can.
Yeah.
And it's just bringing all of that together is so, so crucial for mental health. And I do think there are providers out there, there are systems out there that are doing that, but it's not enough right now with what is happening. Seeing. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of going back to how I struggled. I'm very thankful for the Lord allowing me to move through that. Because the other thing about that phase of my life is that nothing was technically wrong. And I would think about that all the time when I was in that. I just felt like there was something over me.
Okay.
I could not get out. I could not think clearly. My thoughts raced all the time. And I would fixate on, there's nothing wrong. Like, I just got into nursing school.
There's so many things I should be.
I have a great family. Like, there's nothing medically, at the time I was like, there's nothing medically wrong with me. I wasn't having any, medical symptoms. Yeah. Because your thyroid can be off and you can have anxiety and things like that. But I knew I was overall okay and I couldn't figure it out. I had always, if there was anything I had like attributed to myself growing up, is that I was mentally strong. I've always felt that way. Like, I can handle anything. You are a really strong person. Yeah. Thank you. So are you. That's probably where I get it from. But I did. I felt like that was taken from me at that time.
At that time.
I was like, Lord,
like the thing that I'm good at.
The thing that I'm good at, the thing that I have pride in probably is like, I can handle anything. I know how to turn a bad day into a good day. I have hope. Yes. Always. And it was like, I went through a phase where I didn't have any of that. You didn't
have access to that. You're like,
yes, I literally couldn't find it.
Yeah. And
that made me feel very, very isolated. I remember being in rooms of people and feeling completely alone.
But you know what? It probably is the thing that makes you so in tune with your patients, where they can say the same thing and it's easy then to get down on yourself or to feel like I've lost that one thing that I could lean on that I was really good at. But I think, what a gift to be able to give your patients.
Yeah. I tap into that a lot because you're talking about that compassion, and it is easy to burn out in mental health. Because
this is why I worry about you. I'm like, okay, sissy, we all, because I feel like I kind of paid my dues in traditional medicine in a way. You're in the trenches with people. You're seeing people always in what we did, always on their worst day. And it can wear on you. So I'm like, I'm so thankful you're doing it. I think this is a great way to serve people and to use your gifts, but you do have to be careful because you can burn out.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's why I actually shared a meme like a week or two ago that was like something about PTO. Some people brag about, accumulating their PTO. And I'm like, I have 4 hours left and I'm about to put that in. I'm like, that's me. Anybody that works with me, if you're watching this, they literally talk about it. They're like, she's on PTO again. It's going to get used. But I think that's part of it is like everything I've been through has led up to this phase of my life, and everything God has turned into good. And so that hope that I have for patients is, yes, from personal experience.
Yep.
But it's also just in knowing, like, we're designed, if we give ourselves the right tools, if we believe in ourselves, if we have better, more positive self-talk.
Yeah.
if we tap into spiritual strengths, whatever that may be for the individual, like I believe we can heal.
Yeah.
And I believe that life happens and life is hard. Life is brutal.
It's hard.
Life is brutal. There are terrible things that happen all the time.
I gave you that thing, that quote that I have in my office. It's so good. Here's the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Do not be afraid.
Yeah. Yes. I actually have quoted that to patients before.
Yep.
And I feel very strongly that we cannot avoid suffering, and we're not supposed to avoid suffering. Suffering, there's that scripture that talks about how, I'm forgetting it right now, but how trials produce perseverance.
Perseverance produces hope.
And
character produces hope.
Yes, and it's like that. I believe that wholeheartedly, that your mindset around suffering is also really important.
So important.
Especially in mental health, because I have people that come to me every day and they're so hopeless.
Yep.
And sometimes this is where, you can have differing opinions about medicine, but sometimes the medicine is the issue. There are things that it's not just about this concept of spirituality, and there are mechanical, physiological issues.
Sure.
But we can better those things, or we can worsen them.
Yes.
With our lifestyle.
You can make yourself
with
more
our
resilient
mindset
or more.
Yes. And that's what I believe in. There's a book, I know you've read it, The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes.
And he speaks on agency and how traumatized people, they feel they lack. He noticed that in everyone.
Agency.
I don't have agency. I don't have capacity. Like, I don't have control over my life.
Yeah.
And I don't have control to improve my life.
Right.
And how do we restore
that? And
so
many people feel that way. And how can we speak into that, speak hope there?
Yes.
Remind them that,
And I think that's my job. Like, it's my job to know the medicine and to, make good decisions, the best decision I can make for the patient. But it's also my job to speak into that part of everyone, which is like, you are in a dark place. You are down. I'm not trying to convince you you're not.
Right.
I'm not here to gaslight you.
Yep.
Two things can be that are opposite can be true.
Yep.
And the truth is, you are in a dark place, but you do not have to stay there.
Right.
And you have agency to improve your life.
Yes.
And I have some people that are so receptive to that, and others that are like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, you don't understand.
Okay, great. Give me my script and let me hit the road. And I'm like,
okay.
To each their own.
Yeah.
I'm not here to convince anyone of anything.
And I do think, like I was talking about this on a training that I did recently, that sometimes you're in a dark place and that you can get out, but it's just not quite time. You're like, you're hanging on for whatever reason. And I think we can have a lot of compassion for that too. But I also think that we all feel better and fulfill, I think, our purpose better and enjoy our lives more when we can keep working toward better health, getting stronger, getting more resilient. And I notice in you, one of the things that I always over the years have seen you do is come back to movement and exercise. You have been so faithful to make that kind of a cornerstone of your life. And that's really inspiring because you have lived, I think, and you've had jobs, you've lived in places where, it's not always the easiest. I guess for most people, maybe it's not, but I just see you make it a priority. So how do you think, because I know, there's studies on that regular exercise can be as effective as antidepressants.
3 to 4 moderate to intense exercise sessions a week is statistically as potent as an antidepressant.
Says the mental health nurse practitioner.
Yes, I say that every day, at least probably 3 or 4 times a day, because people don't like to move.
You live it too.
Yes. And I think I was going to say this earlier, but that's been something that's come up in this job, is that I went back for certification. I got my family nurse practitioner, and I was like, I'm like almost there. I want to be in this provider role. I want more control. I want to help patients more. But then I saw the mental health track, and I was like, that's it. Yep. I just knew it. I was like, that is it. That is going to put me in a position where I can utilize my best experience. I can utilize my passion to further my education, because we know, especially ADHDers, self-proclaimed, but also I can diagnose myself now, but we need to be passionate about our work.
Yes,
in our careers.
We do.
More than people that
people.
are not an ADHD.
I hearty amen to that, and so will Emily May over there.
Yeah, we are all on that wavelength.
We are on the
for
same
sure.
wavelength.
And it's crucial to be passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think as far as movement goes, I started getting really regimented, and I have always had that as like this cornerstone, but I went through phases where I would go months without any real routine, I guess, or like
around it,
commitment. But I got this job and I was like, woof.
By the way, Caiti lives in Abingdon, Virginia, and she works
the cutest town ever.
The cutest town ever. We love Abingdon. We have lots of family memories in Abingdon, by the way, on the Creeper Trail and going to the Barter Theater. But you work with an amazing psychiatrist, and I think your mentorship with him has been so valuable too.
Like, truly changed my life, actually. He has 35 plus years experience and incredibly humble, incredibly down to earth. We actually had a seminar this morning. We all meet together. So my group, we are part of what's called integrative psychiatry. So we work within primary care offices.
Okay.
And we're all over Southwest Virginia and parts of East Tennessee.
Okay.
So we meet once a week. We talk about cases. We talk about just concepts. And I also have a supervision time with him weekly. So I meet with him one-on-one and we talk about what's going on and, just fine-tuning the practice of mental health. And it's been like, so I'm not going to compare it to residency or really an internship because that is so hard.
Yeah.
But I'm envious of residencies. I wish nursing programs had residencies. We need that because we need
Well, you've been doing a paid one.
Honestly, it's been like truly such a blessing.
I mean, when you landed this job, I just can't even tell you how proud I am. I mean, this is like amazing opportunity, amazing job.
Like God opened, I believe that with my whole heart, that God opened that door for me because I was trying to get a different job within the same company and it would not happen. I had a personal contact, another nurse practitioner that was advocating for me, which is huge in medicine to try to get a position, advocating for me over and over of like, we have a spot open. We want to put her in. She's trained under me. She understands the charting system. She's fresh out of working directly with me, and it did not happen. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I want to start working so badly, but I had a recruiter reach out and they were like, listen, we've actually got this position that's in Abingdon, Virginia, and you also need to go all the way out to Rural Retreat, Virginia, which is
out in the boondocks.
It's out there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yes, immediately. I was like, yes. And he was like, you have an interview. They set up an interview. I interviewed with Dr. Khan and with a few of the on-site managers and I think one or two nursing staff, and immediately felt connected to him. Aww. And I was like, if I don't get this job, I will not know what to do with myself, because then I just wanted it so badly.
Yeah.
And when I got that call, I knew my life was like, I was hitting another phase of my life. I was like, I'm going to learn so much.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned in the interview how much he loved to teach and how he wanted somebody that was flexible and adaptable and wanted to learn. And I was like, I'm telling you,
I'm your girl.
I might not have the best GPA. I might not have, all this experience. I had no psych experience in nursing. I was like, I don't have those things, but I am passionate about mental health. I flew through this program. I absorbed everything. I promise you, you will not find somebody that is not willing to learn and like put in the hard work.
Yeah.
Because this is
I'm sure
what I meant to do.
So grateful he found you.
I think he feels. We have a group now too. We grew, like we have an actual group, but I think he's very pleased with how we've all been willing to learn and adapt.